I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I did my development in Boston, which you know about, which was the 21 flats. I then moved over to the New England Club in Peterborough, which is 12 flats, six, one bedroom and six bedroom. And I said, I'm going to take it easy now, do one at a time. Once I've done the first one, I'll have the second one ready. And since, I mean, that's going to finish in probably by Christmas, worst case January. I've then exchanged contracts on up to 40 houses in Boston. Then the strip of land next to it came on sale. I've bought that as well. That's an additional 9 houses. I'm then now looking at 3 other commercial conversions, which I'm going to get one of. It's just, yeah, with the best intention, you think I'm going to take it easy now and just sit back and maybe take time out, and then something else comes up and you think, okay, this is worth looking at. And the minute you start looking at it, you're now so interested, you then start putting offers in and start asking questions. And I think that's maybe part of being an entrepreneur, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, you do. You get dragged into it all.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's got to be deal-led, hasn't it? And opportunity-led. And, you know, I can easily sit on my hands for a few months when I just can't see an angle in the opportunities that I'm being fed with. But if I've got good deal flow and I can see there's an area of really good opportunity, then I won't be able to resist. Because it doesn't always come, does it? They're not like widgets, they're like buses, they all sort of come at once and then you get bugger all for a while. So you just got to take the opportunities when they come.
Yeah, and I guess that's important, because from the mistakes I've made, and I'm sure it's similar for you, especially on the earlier couple of deals, and as you know, I'm trying to fix both of them now, and I think I'm nearly there with one of them, and the other one I'm still working on.
Yeah. Fixed
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, but the biggest mistake I think for me, Mark, was I forced myself to do both of those deals. So with Boston, New England and all the other deals I've done which have come to me, I've taken my time and used my accountancy brain to make sure that they have worked fine. Those first 2, I forced myself to do them because I wanted to do deals, and that's where I made those mistakes. I think you're absolutely right. Sit back, review, make sure things work based on your criteria. You're going to have certain non-negotiables. Obviously, if they occur, move on to the next deal. And if you be sensible about it, you're going to find the deals that work for you, which means you're going to make less mistakes and hopefully gain more confidence and do more deals.
Yeah, and also you're going to be less bothered about them walking away when you offer low, if you take that mindset. So, you know, if you're sort of like, I'm not that bothered, I don't need to do a deal, but I will put an offer in, it'll be a low one, which I expect to be rejected. Every now and again someone will say yes, and so then it's a good reason to sort of get involved again, isn't it, and do a deal. Otherwise, just sit there and wait.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm to some extent, and you're going to be horrified with me when I share this with you, I'm to some extent doing something slightly different or the opposite. And that's basically, I'm saying, okay, you want this much for it, we can give you that much, but you can't have that money now. I'll give you some now. So like no money down, but slightly differently. You can have some now, and some you're going to get at the end once I've done the deal. Because I know once I've done the deal, added the value, I refinance it, pull my money out, pay them, and I keep some. It makes it even easier to do the deal. What I'm finding is people are quite open to that. So I'm not paying what they're asking for, I'm paying them a bit less than what they're asking for, but I'm saying you've got to walk with me here, and you're with me for the next 2 to 3 years, depending on how long and how big the deal is. But once that happens, you'll get paid the balance. And that's working out quite well in terms of the conversations I'm having. So that could be something. I know that's different to how you do it, but it's working.
Are they business purchases, Shaz, or property?
No, property.
Yeah, interesting.
Property. Yeah.
They're staying in the deal, you know, and you're almost doing a, because I mean, in terms of purchasing businesses, that's been something that's been good for us in the past, where there's almost like a deferred consideration. They get it at a point in the future, which can make it a lot easier, because often you pay them partially out of the profits. And I suppose lots of people do sort of JVs on land, don't they, where the vendor puts the land in, stays with it, and gets paid once the properties are sold, but they end up with more money. There's quite a bit of that.
Yeah. So this is more in terms of a deferred payment as opposed to a JV, and it's working really well. I did exactly that on Boston. So the first piece of land had outline planning for up to 40 houses. I said, I'll exchange, but I'm only going to pay you the full amount on completion. So I think we paid £5,000 to exchange. We're now going through the full planning process, and as you know, because you've got outline planning, the principle's there, so they're going to give you full planning, and as we're going through that process now, we should get the planning agreed before Christmas. Should have happened 3 months ago, but you know how planning works. And we paid £315,000 for it. It's cost us £75,000 to go through the planning process, and the agent's telling me already we've got somebody who'll buy it with full planning for 850 grand. So I don't even have to pay any more money apart from the fees that we've paid for planning, which was no money down, because I've got a JV partner who's funded that. We can sell for 850 and pay the initial vendor, and then keep the rest of the funds. I mean, that's just phenomenal, isn't it, if you can do those kind of deals, in my view.
Yeah.